Hey everyone, welcome to yet another continuous print queue release video. This is going to be a release video for version 2.3.0. There's a number of useful stability improvements and bug fixes, as well as a couple of exciting new features I wanted to share with everyone. Just to touch briefly on a couple of non-visible changes, there have been attempts to harden some of Octoprint's core functionality where continuous print queue hooks into it. I'd also like to call out Tideline 3D's contribution, which improves IP address resolution on startup. This should be very helpful for folks using a bit more interesting network setups. And LAN jobs continue to improve. A couple of edge cases have been eliminated. There's still a couple more to go, but I think we're making some solid progress. If you need more info than that, there's also a link in the description below that'll take you to all of the changes. Moving on to the fun UI stuff, in the queue, there's actually a new set of statistics at the bottom of jobs that are in edit mode. The total items is what you've seen previously. It just counts the aggregates down the column from the number of complete, the number per run, the number for this run, and the total number pending across all runs and all iterations of the job. But below that, you have total time, which, this is based on Octoprint's time analysis of G-code files, so treat it as maybe a lower bound. But it will give you, some context if, for instance, you start 100 jobs. Oh, that'll take at least 2 days to complete for this particular job, right? Similarly, for total mass, this is available if you have Spool Manager installed. Just kind of briefly diving into that, in Spool Manager, for your material, you must have a density and a diameter set and a material set in this material tab. If you have all these three things, you'll be able to select materials for your job, but also whatever's currently loaded will be used to calculate the total mass estimate for your job. So you can tell if, for instance, you have less than half a spool remaining. If you run 100 of these jobs, eventually you're going to have to change your spool. And that's just kind of, a useful sanity check on the amount of manual effort you're going to have in the future, as well as cost, which is quite nice. Now, another feature that I'm going to show you is a little bit more advanced. I think you're going to have a lot of fun with it. It does require a little bit more programmatic knowledge, but I think it should be overall an improvement in customization and automation for your print farms. So if you go to the continuous print settings page, you might see some changes to the headers here. The first is the events page. This is similar to as it was previously, except now there's a lot more that you can do. So under the events, we have a number of different new events, including queue activations. When a print starts, you can run scripts. Print success is the same as clearing as previously. And queue finished is of course the queue finished thing that you also see previously. There's also things like awaiting material. So you can actually run a script if you want to change material from red PLA to black PLA. Maybe you want to move the head over and heat up the extruder and retract the filament, so that way you're ready to go, right? All of this is now available. You can also assign multiple scripts into the same event. This is also a new feature where, for instance, if you have some common behavior across all the events, you want to add that in a way that you don't have to copy across all of these script boxes. You can do that now. And of course, borrowing from the main UI, you can, of course, drag and drop ordering of your scripts. So this will basically take all your scripts, compress them together into a single ultra script, and then run that script when this event fires. You might be interested in this preprocessor select box here. This is actually, I think, something that's not been done before, and I'm really excited to show it off to you guys. This is actually a script that you can run before your print script runs, and this script runs Python code, and it can modify your G code to be whatever you want it to be. So as an example, if we go over to scripts and preprocessors, you can see a couple of edits here. The first of which is now the scripts are these editable items here. You can click in, make your changes, click done. You can also download and delete the files as well. You can import from your profile as previously. But there's also this new preprocessors section. And you can see it's filled with a couple of example scripts. And these run the gamut of, maybe you only want to run a certain script if the print is tall, right? So suppose you have a certain clearing setup. You don't want to waste your time trying to clear prints that are too short for some kind of sweeper thing to sweep it off, right? And maybe you want to do something else in that case. If you take this preprocessor and in events under print success, you do if print will be at least 10 millimeters high, this single script line will only run if that preprocessor returns a true value. And you can see here, this is a conditional here. You've got metadata of some certain values. In this case, it's the height of the metadata analysis of the G-code file, greater than or equal to 10. And that returns conditional value. That value is then evaluated. The script will fire whether or not that's true. Another example of interesting things you can do with preprocessors is you can send notifications to the UI via the print Python command. And this command works exactly like it does in traditional Python. You can just add, the current bed temperature, and it will actually appear in the UI. Similarly, there's options for pausing or raising exceptions. This also reports to the UI as well, so you can see what's going on. And there's also the ability to hook into externally provided variables. So if you have some crazy, wacky experimental setup that has other devices that need to coordinate with your printers, you can actually post requests to the plugin via this URL, and you'll be able to actually access those in your preprocessor scripts here. So I think this is going to be super, super powerful. There's probably a lot of foot guns, so please exercise caution when trying these out. But if you want any more information on the preprocessor setup, what state's available, how to issue notifications, and other errata or details about preprocessors, there'll be plenty of that information in the documentation, as you can see here. And finally, you might have noticed this little question mark button on the top right of the queue. This is a first course of action for if you have any help, or if you encounter problems, or if you just want to throw some ideas or suggestions my way. Please peruse this at your own leisure. There's links to documentation, there's links to the GitHub issues page, there's links to buy me a coffee. You're totally welcome to do that if you want, but no pressure. As always, I'll be active on these as much as I can to help you out. So that's it for version 2.3.0. I hope you enjoy the changes. Please try them out. Let me know, especially if you use preprocessors, how you use them. If you have any fun examples or setups that you have for your own print farm, please also publish those so we can include them into the example list as well. Happy printing. Enjoy.